This demo is going to go over how to code your game, move your ball, and also attach a camera to your player so that it follows it around. So we've already created the new player controller script here. If you go to your player, you can see that it's already been added. And how I did that was I just went to add component, I went to new script, and I typed in player controller, all one word. I capitalized player, the P in player, and then also controller. But you can see I already have this, so I'm not going to do that right now. All right. But what I am going to do is I'm going to go get some code. So what happens is if you go to Google and you type in Unity Rollerball, you're going to get the tutorial link right here. And you want to go in there, and it takes you to all these tutorials. Some of them are videos, some of them have the code. We've already done a lot of this, but what you want to do is go to moving the player. Okay, so you could watch this tutorial and actually code this yourself, but this is kind of just in case you missed the demo and you want to try just using the code. What I'm going to do here is I'm going to take this copy of the code, and I'm going to go just click on this button right here. What that does is allow you to copy this stuff. You can also drag, select, and copy, but I prefer this method. If you're using Safari, this will not work, so I'd recommend using Chrome. What we're going to do is we're going to go into our player controller script, which is right here, our C# script. That's in our scripts. If it's in your assets, move it into your scripts folder. Okay, so go in there, and I'm just going to open that up. That opens up our mono develop. And what I'm going to do is just drag over everything in here, and I'm just going to Command V or edit paste that in. Okay, and that should set everything. So I'm going to Command S, basically to save it, which is just file save. And now this should work. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go in, I'm going to hit play on my game. Now, the other thing you want to do is make sure that you hit maximize on play right here. So when you hit that, you can drive the ball around. Now, if it does not work, what you need to do here, I'm going to go out of there. I'm going to click on player. I'm going to go down here to my player inspector, and you're going to see speed. Yours might say 0, and what I want you to do is change that to 10. You can go higher, but 10 is a recommended number. And when you hit play, then your ball is going to be able to be moved around, and I'm using my arrows on my keyboard. Okay, so always hit play to play the game, and then when you want to get out, hit play again. Okay, now what we're going to do next is we're going to click on main camera. Now, we could drop this onto our player and try to attach it, but what's going to happen then is when I try to move, you see what's going on is the camera's attached, and because the ball rolls, it's actually spinning with it. So we don't want that to happen, so we're going to remove it. Okay, we're not going to parent that on there. Instead, what we're going to do is we're going to click on main camera, we're going to add a component, we're going to make a new script. We're going to call this camera controller, capital C, on both. Okay, make sure it's spelled right, hit create and add. All right, the code for this is actually up in on Unity, and I'm going to go in and go back to Rollerball, and I'm going to go down to moving the camera. So I'm going to click on moving the camera, and here, go down, here's the camera controller script. So I'm going to copy that code, go back here, and I have to go open up my camera controller script, which it did create it, but it put it in my project, so I'm going to move that into the scripts. Open up camera controller, and I'm going to paste over. Okay, and there we go. And I'm just going to Command S to save it. Okay, make sure you are in camera controller, not player, because there's 2 tabs up there. Okay, so I paste it in, and it should be ready to roll. All right, what I'm going to do now is go back here. I'm going to click on my main camera. Okay, now the camera controller script is there on the main camera, and you're going to see this extra little thing that popped up. What this is it's asking for a reference to the player so that the camera follows it, but it doesn't roll. It only follows position, not rotation. So what I do here is I'm going to take my player, I'm going to drop it on into that spot, and then I'm going to just make sure I save that, make sure I go back to this thing and save all my scripts, Command S, file save, okay, and now hit play. What you should get is your ball is going to move, but also your camera is going to follow that, okay? Now, if for some reason you did not adjust your camera before this, what you can do is kind of look up here. This is your control of your scene. This is your actual game. All right, and if I click on my main camera here, when I go ahead and move this, you can see that I'm changing the position of the camera down in my gameplay here. So what I'd recommend doing is kind of getting this either using your move tool here or your rotation tool, okay, or a combination of those two. Get this thing into place so that you can actually see what's going on here. You know, like is it looking how you want it to? So I like that. You can also click on the main camera and also go up to your transform controls up here and change the position and rotation and stuff. If you just like hover over Y, you can see that changes. Like click and hold on Y, click and hold on Z, that brings it in and out, and that just allows you to be able to see your play space a little bit better. So that might be something you actually might want to do before. I kind of forgot to go through it before, but I would just recommend at some point getting it so that it looks right down in your game, so that when you hit play and you go to move the ball, that it's going to fall it the right way, and you can see your whole playing field or as best you can. This is something you can always adjust later. So.